Hello everyone, welcome to another IPO analysis. This IPO marathon is getting hotter and hotter day by day. Few days back, Paytm filed its DRHP for launching its own IPO. Even OYO management also decided to enter into IPO. Paytm DRHP says they are going to make a total fundraise of 16,600 crore, of which 8,300 crore of fresh issue by the company and 8,300 crore of offer for sale by its early investors like Ant Group and many others. Let's start from the economy analysis. Indian GDP. Indian GDP is currently around 2.7 trillion and is expected to grow at a pace of 9% every year to reach 4.2 in the year 2025. As per Nirmala Sitharaman's budgetary speech on 2019, India was expected to reach 5 trillion by 2025, but this didn't happen due to COVID issues. Real GDP growth of India is highly affected due to COVID pandemic. As you see from the right side graph, India was the most affected in the GDP wise, and India is going to be the highest growing economy after this COVID pandemic. Next, in terms of internet users in India, currently India has 650 to 700 million internet users and is expected to grow at a pace of 8% to reach 1 billion internet users by the year 2026. Smartphone users. Currently 500 to 550 million smartphone users are there in India. It is expected to grow at a pace of 10%, and active internet users who use social media but don't transact in online is currently 400 to 450 million and is expected to grow at a pace of 16% to reach 900 million. Next is evolution of Indian payment system. First credit card was launched in 1980 to 1981, and in 2005 NEFT was launched, and in 2010 IMPS, RuPay and PPI, which are mobile wallets, came into practice. 2012 RuPay cards through NPCI was launched. When the years passed by, in the year 2015 payment banks were introduced by RBI. Currently, QR code and RBI introduces VCIP as an alternate for establishing customer identity is the current trend happening in the Indian payment system. To the right, total digital payment by value in India is 19.6 trillion in the year 2018, and it is expected to reach 40 to 50 trillion in the year 2026. Total digital payment by volume was 14 billion in the year 2018 and is expected to reach 150 to 200 billion in the year 2026. Next is evolution of mobile payment landscape in India. As I already said, mobile wallets were introduced in the year 2010. Then smartphone evolution came. Then India launched its UPI payment, reduction in the cost of data after Jio entering this telecom market with a very cheap data. Then QR code entry. This QR code transactions were very helpful during those demonetization, and the current ongoing evolutions in this trend is magnetic secure transmissions, feature phone based payments, and many companies are also issuing COVID-19 insurance through tie-ups with e-players and OTP-less card payments. Next, let's see about mobile payments which are happening from consumer to merchants by value. It was around $105 billion in the year 2021 in India and is expected to reach 800 billion in the financial year 2026, which is 7.6 times growth. Total mobile payment by value from person to person, person to merchant, and everything includes 608 billion in the year 2021, and which is going to grow at 5 times in the year 2026 to reach 3.065 trillion. This is the vicious business cycle, how payment services increase their customer base, generate more revenue, and introduce more products in the market. As you are well known that payment services like Paytm, PhonePe and Google Pay use more scratch coupons and more partnered offers to promote their payment system. This attracts more customers, and when more customers have this ease of payment, merchants are ready to have that payment mode in their shops. This creates more user cycle and this forms a secondary boost to promote these payment modes. This cycle continues on and more customers and more merchants are taken into these payment services. Since this became a lifestyle adoption, these companies tries to create a better experience of payment to the customer so that the customer won't leave that particular app to switch to another app. To provide this ease of payment, they are adopting cloud-based services. More customers expect a single app for their all transactions, purchases and bookings. This paved a way for introduction of more services like recharge, ticket booking, mutual funds, equity trading, etc. in a single platform. This creates more stickiness to the particular payment service available in the market. This is the way Paytm increases its customer base. These are the companies Paytm acquired in the past, like Educard in 2016, Near in the year 2015, Ticketsnew in the year 2018, and Paytm Insider in the year 2017, and Shopstify in the year 2016, and many others. Next, Paytm was launched in the year 2009, and Payment Gateway was launched by Paytm in the year 2012, and Paytm Wallet was introduced in the year 2014, QR code transaction in the year 2015, movie ticket booking, bill payments are also introduced in the year 2015. The year goes, and in the year 2021, now they are offering derivative and future and option trading and equity trading in Paytm platform. To summarize all those, this slide shows all the offerings of Paytm. You can pause this video and check this out, like Paytm Money, Paytm Mall, Paytm Cards, Paytm Payment Bank, etc. Next is Paytm currently has 333 million consumers. To the left, the consumers have various offerings, and to the right, Paytm acquired 21 million merchants with them, and to the right are the offerings for those merchants. Next is consumer to merchant by transaction volume. Paytm holds 40% of market share in this mode of transaction. Consumer to merchant wallet transactions, Paytm holds 65 to 70% market share in this wallet transaction mode. Next, we know a wide range of product offerings from Paytm, and its competitors are not able to match these many offerings, like wide range of insurance offering available in Paytm which is not available in other competitors. Paytm Payment Bank is one of the unique feature of Paytm, and many others. This is a slide summary of this Paytm. You can just pause this video and check this on. Next is their corporate team. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, their Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer. The company has few litigations like direct and indirect tax proceedings against them, which is standing up to 3,730 crore, and all other small claims accounts to 60 crore. This is their consolidated profit and loss statement. As you have seen here, payment and financial services gives 66% to their revenue, and commerce and cloud services gives 22% to the revenue, and other income accounts to 12% of their revenue. This company is incurring continuous losses, but you can notice, like from the year 2019, they are slowly reducing their losses. This is mainly contributed by reduction in their marketing and promotional expense, which we can see in the next slide. Contribution margin and contribution profit. The company is making a very huge negative contribution profit and negative contribution margin in the year 2019, and slowly they are turning this into positive in the year 2021. Payment processing charges as a percentage of GMV. This GMV means the total value of money transacted in this Paytm platform, which was 1% in the financial year 2019, and due to the increased transaction in this Paytm platform, they are able to reduce this to 0.5%. To the bottom right, marketing and promotional expense to the percentage of revenue. In the year 2019, Paytm was spending more than double their revenue in promotional and marketing activities. in the year 2021, this is hugely reduced to reach 19% to their total revenue. Next, we will see about strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats to Paytm. First, strength. Paytm has extreme brand awareness, scaled up its business quickly, and largely accepted by merchants across India, and strong investment from big investors like Ratan Tata, Alibaba Group, etc. is a huge boost to this Paytm company. Next is their weakness. People in India still prefer cash as their primary mode of payment, and Paytm have diversified so much with huge product offerings. This is seen as a positive thing as well as a negative thing. Next is their opportunities. Paytm can cater large audience with some offline presence as well. Paytm can educate its customers so that their customer base will also get a boost. Offer more banking services along with online payment option is the place where Paytm can grow faster. Next is their threats. Bankings are also started providing more e-wallets for their savings accounts of their customers. Security and privacy of users in payment banks and other payment mode is still an unanswered question in this economy. Okay, let's see more about their IPO now. According to the DRHP, they are going to use this fundraise for growing and strengthening its ecosystem, like more latest technology adoption, acquisition of more customers and merchants, and they are going to spend 4,300 crore for this, and investing in new initiatives and strategic partnership with other platforms, and for this they are going to spend around 2000 crore, and the remaining fund they are going to spend for general corporate purposes. Now, by looking at their rough split, they are not going to allocate more than 10% to the retail investors. I think by looking at Zomato and all other IPO subscription from the retailer end, it was good. So there is a more chance that Paytm will allocate exactly 10% to the retail investors. 10% of this huge issue is a good one for us. With this, the video ends. I am happy to hear suggestions from you. If the IPO dates and other details are confirmed, I will update the same in the description. Subscribe to my channel and follow my channel for more updates on interesting stocks and IPOs. Thank you for watching.